wanted to let you know a little bit about SCVP Jain School. We have been running SCVP Jain School in London, Harrow for over 20 years now, and we are the longest established Jain school here in the UK. Jain School here it runs every Friday, and we particularly aim for lessons for children and adults. And in between all that, throughout the year, we also have a number of very spiritual enlightening events, such as Pratikamar and Samayak and fun days, and many other events which you might have attended in the past. The inspiration behind SCVP Jain School is Virayatan, India, in Bihar. Bihar, the main star of Mahavir Bhagwan. The inspiration there in Bihar is Acharya Sri Channaji and her Sangh of Sadhvijis. The three pillars, not only does Virayatan SCVP run through, is Seva, Siksha and Sadhana. Since Bihar has opened up, in the last few years, we also have Kutch and Palitana. I hope one day you get to visit one of these when the lockdown is finished. Those three places are beautiful. And I hope you can also take your children with you one day. Tonight, we're really lucky that we're going to see some lovely kids joining us from our junior classes. And they're going to begin with the Naukar mantra. So I want to introduce you to Krish, who is 10, and Arjun, who I believe is 6 years old. And I'm going to ask Daddy, Big Daddy there, to start the Nauka mantra with the two kids. So can I please hand you over to Mr. Jain to start off with Krish and Arjun's Nauka mantra.
Cool. Jai Janendra.
Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Shri Setanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Uvajayanam. Namo Loe Sabasahunam. Eso Pancha Namo Karo. Eso Pancha Namo Karo. Sava Pava Parasano. Mangalanancha Savesin Paramamahave Mangalamcha.
Continue.
Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Shri Setanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Jayanam. Namo Loe Sabasahunam. Eso Panchanamo Karo. Eso Panchanamo Karo. Sava Pava Parasano. Mangalanancha Savesin. Paramamahave Mangalamcha. Om Namo Arihantaram. Om Namo Shri Setanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Vijayanam. Namo Loe Sabasahunam. Eso Panchanamo Karo. Eso Panchanamo Karo. Sava Pava Parasano. Mangalanancha Savesin. Paramamahave Mangalamcha. Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Shri Setanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Uvajayanam. Namo Loe Savasahunam. Eso Panchanamo Karo. Eso Panchanamo Karo. Sava Pava Parasano. Mangalanancha Savesin. Paramamahave Mangalamcha. Om Namo Arihantaram. Om Namo Shri Setanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Uvachayanam. Namo Loe Sabasahunam. Eso Panche Namokaro. Eso Panche Namokaro. Sava Pava Parasano. Mangalanancha Sarvaisin. Paramamahave Mangalam Cha.
Very much. Thank you very much, Krish and Arjun. My goodness, you were on a real roll there, hey? Beautiful voices, and you've been practicing, obviously. Well done, superb job. Thank you so much to Daddy, and thank you both of you. Have a lovely evening, and maybe you can still stay behind and watch this wonderful presentation that's about to come by Hina Ben Vora. So before we go to our presenter, will I please ask you all to mute yourself, and halfway through the presentation, we will take questions, and you can post all your questions through the chat line, which is coming up now. Right, so we are lucky this evening to have Hina Ben Vora, who has been an SCVP teacher for many, many years. Very intelligent lady. She's got a master's in Jainism, and tonight she's going to talk to us about the power of Logos. So I would like to hand over to Hina Ben. Hina Ben, looking forward to it. Welcome and thank you.
Jai Chinendra, I bow down to Lord Mahavir, Pujya Sri Acharya Ji, Channa Ji, Sadhviji Maharaj, dear sisters and brothers. Today, we are going to talk about a very auspicious prayer, Logassa Sutra. It is considered supreme among all the sutras in devotional literature. So, before we start, I would like to ask a question to all of you. Why do we pray? Please provide your response on Zoom chat. Anything, Varshaben?
We're still waiting. People are typing. So we have Peace of Mind, Solace by Sandeep Bhai. We have Ketan Bhai saying to find our inner self. Bindi Ben to say for peace, inner peace and peace in the world. And Bakul Bhai says to remember the virtues. Another Hina Ben Shah says for devotion and peace. Manisha says for contentment. Chintu Bhai says to calm our minds. Shreni Ben says to connect with the divine. And Bharat Bhai says to connect to faith and our soul. Sandeep Bhai Kothari says remind ourselves of the virtues of the Tirthankars so we can become like him. And Ashni Ben says for peace. Hina Ben.
Some very excellent responses. I'm very pleased. Okay, so here I would like to share a story of Acharya, Digambar Acharya, Kunkund Acharya. Kunkund Acharya recited 108 times Namothanu. From Mavidya Kshetra, Simandar Swami blessed him by putting his hand up and said Jai to him. This standing next to him, God asked Bhagwan, who are you blessing to? There is no one here. Who is doing vanna to you? Simandar Swami said, to Devta, there is highly talented, that is Prabhavshali Acharya in Bharat Kshetra, who is praying by saying Namothanu, and I say Jai to him. So this is one, and there is another one that has happened only just a few years ago. And a Shravak was passing by and he saw a bird dying. So Shravak recited Mangalpat and gave Santara to that bird. That bird in his next life became Devta. So that Devta started to think, How he became Devta. As you all know, that Devta can see their previous life. He realized that devotee said Mangal Path at his last stage in his previous life. Therefore, Devta wanted to do something for that Shravak, so he went to Shravak and asked him, "Since you said prayers for me in my last life, I would like to do something in return for you. Please tell me, what can I do for you?" The devotee said that he wants to go to Mahavida Kshetra as well as to see his Acharya who lived far away from him. That Devta took him and brought him back to his house. After a couple of days, the devotee was a bit puzzled. He thought to himself that it was a dream or was it true? Soon he set out to confirm. He went to his Acharya, but as soon as Acharya saw him, Acharya asked him, "Why are you here again? You were here only 2 days ago." So Shravak got his answer that it was true, not the dream. Thus, we can say that if the prayers are being done with the true devotion, they will be heard by our Arihantas. Sorry, okay. So now I would like to talk a little bit about history of Logassa Sutra. In Uttarakhand Sutra, chapter number 29, stanza number 9, Gautam Swami asked Lord Mahavir, "Chavvisantenam bante jive kim chanaye?" O Lord, what does one benefit by worship of 24th Tirthankar? Lord Mahavir replies, "Chavvisantenam dansana visohim janayi." By Chavvisanto, the soul arrives at purity of faith, that is darshan visuddhi. This is the history of Logassa Sutra. It is a very popular and ancient prayer to the 24 Tirthankaras of Bharat Kshetra of Chambudvip, who lived during the descending period of 3rd and 4th era. The language of the sutra is Prakrit. It is often called the Logassa Sutra because it starts with the word Logos. As you all know, most of our sutras are like Bhaktamar Sutra and all those sutras, they always start with the first word of the sutra. It is also referred as Chavvisanto or Chaturvinsati Stav because it is a prayer to Chavvis, that means 24 jinas. So now what is sutra? Sutra is a combination of words that are concise and meaningful. Some of our agams are also called sutra, which is referred to as the entire scripture. For example, Acharam Sutra, Uttarakhand Sutra, Bhagavati Sutra. It is not certain if there is a specific story behind Logassa Sutra, but it is a commonly held understanding that Logos is a sutra which has some parts Sashvat and some Asashvat. Sashvat means which was there even before. It is there and will remain forever. Why it has been called Asashvat, that is some parts, because it is a sutra which contains names of all 24 Tirthankars of current era. So those names will be replaced in next era with the next era's Tirthankar names. This prayer is an adoration of the current 24 Tirthankars, both with their names and their qualities and attributes. By recitation of this sutra, one worships and praises the virtues of 24 Tirthankars and offers the ultimate respect to them. It is often recited while visiting a temple or during periodic meditation, as well as in, you all know, Pratikraman, Samai, and so on. The chanting of Logassa Sutra helps to awaken the subconscious and serves to reach a higher spiritual level. It is often said that this sutra glorifies those who have illuminated the world by preaching the sacred doctrine. Now, before we go and understand the meaning of it, we can talk about the words and meaning of the sutra, but the power of the sutra is beyond the words and imagination. It can only be experienced. So, in short, first stanza is all adjectives used for Tirthankar. Second and third and fourth mentions the names of all Tirthankars who we are praying to, and 5, 6, and 7 stanzas are the stuti to Tirthankar. So let's have a look at the first stanza, which says, Logassa Sutra Gare Dhammatikya Rejine Arhante Kittesam Chavisampi Kevali. So there are some words that I would like to discuss here. So Logassa Sutra Yogare. Logassa means universe and Sutra Yogare means illuminates. The infinite knowledge of Bhagwan illuminates the whole universe all the time and everywhere, unlike sun and moon, whose light is time-bound as well as distance-bound. Then dharma. So it refers to the spiritual practice that can uplift the soul trapped in a lowly state to its higher pristine form. Now, dharma are two types, Shrut dharma and Charitra dharma. Again, Charitra is two types, one for laymen and women, and the others are for monks and nuns. Now, the word Tirtha, that which helps us to swim across. What do we want to swim? Just our sansari life, isn't it? So, Tirth is a river bank, so we can get through. Here, but our Tirthankar's Tirth is different. Generally, people say they go to have bath and in Tirtha and then to have a better next life. So, what does Tirthankar's Tirtha do for us? Our Tirtha's benefits are by normally when we go, we have a bath in the Tirth and it helps to eradicate heat. So heat of what? Our Tirtha eradicates our anger. Secondly, it helps to quench the thirst. Thirst of what? So that helps to reduce the asakti, moh, greed, and it brings contentment. Thirdly, it cleans the dirt. But dirt of what? Dirt of 8 karma. It reduces and cleans. Yeah? And then there is a word, yare. Yare means courage. Yeah? So Tirthankar is doing, he is Santikar, he is Abhaikar, and so on. So Tirthankar is Abhaikar. Then it says Jine, those who conquered the passions, which is Rag and Dvesh. Then the word Arhant. Arhant is not ordinary Kevli, but those who have special qualities, some by birth and some by their efforts. They are very powerful and Kshamasura. Kshamasura means Arhant, always ready to forgive. Then the word Kitta Isam. So, you know, in Gujarati we say we are doing Kirtan. So we are singing prayers. So that is Kirtan, Bhajan. Then Chavisampi Kevali. Here, P is a very, very important word. So Chavis means 24, but then Api. So we are praying not only to our this 24th Tirthankar, but we are praying to the past Kevalis and we are also praying to the future Kevalis. That is why the P word is used here. Chavisampi Kevali. So we are bowing down to current as well as the past and the future Kevali. And what does Keval mean? Keval mean is only knowledge, nothing but only knowledge. And that includes the rest of the knowledge. Mati Gyan, Shruta Gyan, Auti Gyan, Manaparya Gyan, everything. Okay, so now we move on to the next one. Usabamajiyam cha vande sambhavma vinandanam cha sumaicha Paumapaha Supasam Chinam Chachandapaham Vandu. So here, as I said, they are all the names of our 24 Tirthankar. I probably will not go into detail of all of them, but I have noted down some of them which I'm going to share with you. So first, let's have a look at Rishabh Dev Bhagwan. How did his name came about? When this pious soul was conceived, Mother Marudeva dreamt of 14 auspicious things. The first thing she saw in her dream was that beautiful and large white bull was entering her mouth, whereas all the other Tirthankars' mothers saw elephant first. So that is the reason they called him Rishabdev Bhagwan, which is bull. Okay. So also he was very powerful and fearless. Even today, people chant his name when they are in fear, just to feel safe. If you keep on chanting his name, you can get over the fear. He taught Asi, Masi, Krusi, while there were no more things available from Kalpavruks, which is wishing tree. So he taught everything. He taught the 18 alphabets to Brahmi, and with his right hand and with his left hand, he taught arithmetic to Sundri. Thus, the image of civilization comes before our eyes when we take his name. Then we, Ajit Nath Bhagwan. How did Ajit name came about? This is because they say when the parents used to play the board game, now we call it chess, in those days they used to call it Satranj, then always that time father used to win. But since Tirthankar's pious soul was conceived in mother's womb, then the mother started winning all the time. That is why they called him Ajit Nath Bhagwan. Abhinandan. I think from the name only we can say Abhinandan. That means congratulations. So when the pious soul conceived his mother's womb, Indra used to pray to his mother 3 times a day. Not only that, also the people of the whole kingdom were suddenly filled with the feelings of humility. Okay, so that's how his name came about. Now, Sumati Nath Bhagwan. Sumati is made of 2 words, isn't it? Su means sari, means good, and mati means buddhi. Yeah, so the positive knowledge. His name means positive knowledge. So how did that come about? Is in those days there used to be a law that if any family do not have child in the family, then the total wealth will be acquired by the king. So there was a man who had 2 wives. Unfortunately, he passed away, and between 2 wives, they had a son. Since the husband passed away, both the wives started quarreling for the child. Then they came to Sumtinath's father. The father could not decide, while the mother said, I will be the judge for this problem. And she asked the ladies, let the child be in custody of the state until the pious soul I carry in my womb is born. Then he will decide who is the true mother. As soon as the real mother heard this, she started crying and said, don't do this, please. I will not be able to survive without seeing my child. Let the other lady have the child at least. I will get to see the child once in a while instead of waiting for 9 months without seeing him. So then Sumatinath's mother decided that she is the real mother. Thus, while he was still in his mother's womb, he had the right reason, right knowledge. So that is Sumati. Yeah. Even today, it is believed that if you want the child to be bright, then chant Sumatinathai Namaha. That jap is very auspicious. Then Padma Prabhu Swami. So how did Padma Prabhu came about? Is while his pious soul was in his mother's womb, the beautiful smell of rose started coming from mother's body. That's how it came about. And then we'll go on to the next slide, which is Suvihin Chapupadantam Sriyalasi Jansava Supujancha Vimalamanantam Chatinam Dhammam Santim Chabandami. So here, let's talk about Shitalnath Bhagwan. How did that came about? So his father had an acute burning sensation in his body and and very high fever. While mother carried the pious soul in her womb, she put her palm onto his body and father felt a soothing relief. Even today, people chant his name, Sitalnathai Namaha, to stop any fever or any acute burning sensation. So that's how his name came about. Then Shantinath Bhagwan. Shantinath Bhagwan is very, very powerful Tirthankar, especially in this difficult time while the whole world is going through the pandemic of coronavirus. So, why did parents call him Shantinath Bhagwan? The story is like this. The town was going through an infectious disease called murky. They used to call it murky at the time, but which is similar to epilepsy. And as soon as the pious soul conceived in mother's womb, she dropped some water from the roof of the house to the whole town, and the infection stopped spreading. Also, people started feeling better and survived. No more deaths. This is the reason many of our acharyas are suggesting even today that Shantinath Bhagwan's jap in this time the way we are going through is very effective. Also, it can be chanted when our mind is restless, or chanting his name one feels at ease. Also, it helps when there is anxiety, lot of anxiety, it calms us down. Just how the name is, chanting his name brings lot of peace. Because Shanti means peace. Now we go on to the next slide. Kuntum aram chamallim vande munisukvayam namichinam cha vandami ritchanemi pasantaha vattamanam cha. So here let's talk about Aristanemi Bhagwan. How did that name come about? Is that Queen Mother had seen this with Arista James. That is why they called him Aristanemi Bhagwan. The name of Lord Neminath transports us to the zenith of compassion. We all know the story of his wedding day as he heard the cries of animals being killed for the marriage feast, and he stopped. So so all those virtues comes in front of us as soon as we take their name. Then Parshvanath Bhagwan, how did Parshvanath came about? So during the pregnancy, Queen Vamadevi one night saw a snake slithering on the bed near King Ashwashen's flank. She woke him up and saved him from the impending danger. This is why the parents named him Parshva, which is flank. His name reminds us to be in equanimity in everything and with everyone. His attitude towards Kamach, who used to always trouble him, whereas Dharmendra, who always protected him, but his attitude was always the same towards both of them. And then let's talk about Vardhaman. So Mahavir Bhagwan, Vardhaman, everybody knows how the name came about, because since the day this child was conceived, the family was blessed with increasing goodwill, respect, wealth, mutual affection, cats, gold, gems had increased in treasury, the public had gained health, peace, happiness, and so on. So there had been a continued enhancement in glory, health, wealth, and fame. From his life, we learn endless lessons. Like many tortures and troubles he endured, his infinite kindness for the downtrodden stands out as a true example of compassion. Thus, I would say, as you can see, that they all had these extraordinary qualities from the day they conceived in their mother's womb and made such a big impact from their lives that just by taking their names, we get energized with the good qualities that they exhibited. Just the way we call any of our family members, we say the name and that character comes in front of us. In the same way, when we take their name, the character, whatever the good qualities they had, it comes to us. So now let's go on to the next slide. Evam may abhitua vihuyarayamala pahina jaramarna chavi sampi chinavara tittayara me pasiyantu. So here, evam means this way. Mae means by me. Abhitua, I prayed. Pray to who? Raimala. So the word here, Raimala, Pahina Germana, are very important to understand. So Rai and Raimala is two words, Rai and Mal. So the Siddhas are free of any karmic bondages anyway and sinful blemishes. But Rai and Mal, so Raj and Mal. So Raj refers to those karmas which bind the soul but can be shared by austerities such as alochana, prayashit, and pratikraman. Also, they are accumulated by the yoga of body, mind, and speech, but are devoid of passions. So that is Raj. Example of such karma is when there is a dust sitting on the piece of cloth, we can easily shake it off. So that is Raj. But what is Mal? Mal, that karmas which are previously accumulated, that is Nikachit karmas, which cannot be shared without undergoing their effects. Example of such karma is the same piece of cloth. If there was oil on it and if the dust goes on it, then we cannot shake it off. So, but our Tirthankars are free of all these karmas anyway. Then the word Pahina Charamarna is also very important. So Tirthankar never gets old since they have no worries. Normally we all get old because we have lots of worries. Jara, that is old age. Tirthankar never gets old. And as they are liberated from the cycle of death and birth. Then Chavisampi Jinavara, again the P. So 24 as well as the past, present, and of course present and future. All the genes, Jin Bhagwan, I bow down to. And then Tittayara. So O Tirthankar Bhagwan, me Pasiyantu, be pleased with me. So this last line is very important. Tittayara me Pasiyantu means O Tirthankar, be pleased with me. Even in today's day and age, whenever we are not at ease and if we are worried about something, if you just keep chanting Tittayara me Pasiyantu, Tittayara me Pasiyantu, you will automatically get the strength to solve whatever the problem you have. Okay, so now let's go on to the next slide. Kitya Vandya Mahiye Je Logassa Uttama Siddha Arukka Bodhilabham Samahi Varamuttamam Dintu. Here, Kitya, again this word has come. So Kitya means how we do the kirtan. Yeah. So, and Ma'e means by me. And Vandiye means by hand. So, by hands that I have done the kirtan and by mouth. So now, Je Logassa Uttama Siddha. So here the words Uttama is made up of two, Ut and Tam. So Ut means that which rises above and Tam means the dark. So those who have risen above the darkness, and darkness of what? So Mithyatva, which we all have. We are in darkness of Mithyatva, wrong belief. Then Ajnan, that is another darkness which we do not have pure knowledge of the reality. The knowledge of what? That is nine tattva, and so basically the knowledge of reality. And the third is more attachment, asakti, and more gives us the highest pain. Yeah. So, but Tirthankar has risen above all this. So here I would like to give one more example of more. There are so many, we all know. But one very rich landlord saw a building burning and he was sad. So that was one of his building and he saw that it was burning. So he was very sad. But his eldest son came and told him, why are you so sad? This building we have already sold. So he started feeling very happy again. But the younger son came again and he said, yes, we sold it, but the papers have not still been transferred to the new owner. So it is still under our name. And they have stopped paying for the insurance because they were just in the process of handing over to the new owner. So this is what it is. We are always like, when something is ours, we worry so much. But if it's not, then it does not matter to us. So that is our more. Here again, arugga bohilabam. So arugga means arogya, means our health. So there are two types, bhav arogya and dravya arogya. Bhav arogya means like our to have healthy body is dravya arogya. Yeah, and bhav arogya means to have purity of our soul. That is atmani nirmalta. There is no mal into. So totally pure soul. That is what we are asking for. Then bodhi. We are asking for bodhi. Here it says bodhi. That is bodhi. So bodhi samyaktva. Faith in the right dharma, right guru. So that is what we are asking for. Yeah. And samahiva, that is, give me the best samadhi, liberation of our soul. That is what we are asking for. So what we are asking for three things in this stanza: bestow upon me an inner state of well-being, divine knowledge, and the highest state of consciousness. Next one. So then now, Chandesu Nimlera, Aichesu Ayam Payasera, Sagar Vargambira, Siddha Siddhim Mama Disantu. So here, Chandesu Nimlera, Sita's knowledge is very pure. Although it is compared with moon, sometimes moon have the spots in it, but their knowledge is so pure. It's nirmal. The word nirmal is so nice. Like I struggle to find the right word for it in English. Nir and mal means dirt, but nirmal, there is no dirt in it. It's totally pure. That is nirmal. Just the way there is a saying that on a full moon day, if we keep the kheer under the moon, that it becomes amrut. So imagine if we stay under Tirthankar's umbrella, maybe we can get Kevalgnan too. Then Aichesu Ayyam Payasera. So Aichesu, more than the sun illuminating, because their knowledge has no boundary, like the sun has the boundary of time and the place. Their knowledge does not have any boundary. Sagar var Gambira. Gambira is very important. Like a great ocean is always very calm on top. Even though the ocean has so many things at the bottom of it, still it is very calm. Can we be the same? We have few problems and we start panicking. Bhagwan has so much knowledge and still he is ever so calm. And then we are saying, Siddha Siddhi Mama Disanti. Can Bhagwan give us the Siddhi, the liberation? The answer to this question is that although the Siddhas are not the doers, it is by their support and blessings that a devotee can achieve everything that he desires. It is not the Lord who helps us accomplish, but the faith of the devotee. How we go to the heat when we are cold? The heat does not come to us, but as soon as we go, we start feeling warm. Same way Bhagwan does not say, do my prayers, but it gives us peace and strength when we pray. Siddhas are for guidance, not for granting. According to Acharya Sri Amar Muniji Maharaj, a correct interpretation of this prayer would be, by support of the Siddhas, may I accomplish, rather than may the Siddhas grant me the accomplishment. As Sadhviji Maharaj also explained to us last Sunday, I think was really beautiful. The Lord is considered the charioteer of our life. The charioteer shows the path, but the war has to be fought only by the warrior. What does Krishna do in the battlefield of Mahabharata? He takes a vow, Arjun, I am only your charioteer. I will not lift any weapon, so use your weapons to protect yourself. This is the same ideal of the Jaina Tirthankars. They have also shown us the path and handed the weapons of austerities in our hands. Thus, our accomplishments depend solely on our action. So here, I would just like to summarize by saying the importance of Logassa Sutra, that it is a very beautiful presentation of Jain tradition of devotion. This is one of the 6 essential, as we all know, of Pratikraman, expression of higher desire, as I would say, because, you know, we, being Vanyas, we are always asking for everything higher, isn't it? So here also we have done the right job. We are asking for higher desire. And a prayer. The prayer is beautiful. We always say, oh Lord, bestow upon me the health, as I explained, that is mental health, but also physical health is important to achieve something. Then enlightened worldview, samyaktva, that is faith in the right way, right guru, and right dharma, which is propounded by Tirthankars. Intense meditation, samadhi, we are asking for samadhi, but what samadhi? Not the ordinary samadhi. The great commentator Yasovijayji Maharaj has stated that as you go deep into meditation, the distinction between the meditator, act of meditation, and the goal being meditated upon vanishes to merge into the pure form. Such a state is dhyan, samadhi, or superconsciousness. Basically, it is the liberation that we are asking for. And the perfection, of course, we want perfection, success in everything we do, may that be our profession or even on the religious path. This is what, yes. Now I'm ready to take questions, Varshaben.
Yes, so we had a question earlier on at the very beginning, Hina Ben, by Nalin Bhai Kothari. So may I ask Nalin Bhai Kothari to ask Hina Ben the question about the 24th Tirthankar and unmute himself, please?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Nalin Bhai.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, when were the original first Tirthankaras and how many have since been there to date?
Oh, it's a very difficult question to answer, but as we always say that this religion has been there forever, like since time immemorial. So I don't know how many has already been and how many are going to be. But as we say, since, you know, that is what Jainism believes in, isn't it? That this universe has always been here. It was always here, and it will always be there. So I wouldn't know exact numbers.
Because according to modern science, human beings, I mean, present civilization has been here for about, I don't know, 200,000 years when there was no IT, nothing at that time. And I wonder whether, in fact, life has been, when we say time immemorial, means many, many millions of years. And how does that then remain passed to us, all the information?
this is what our I would say this is what our religious book says, but I probably won't be able to answer this properly. If Vinod Bhai is there or somebody who knows the answer, please go ahead and tell them what they think.
So Hina, why don't we make a note of that question? We can always come back
Sure.
in Thai for next time. We can
Yeah.
check Vinod Bhai. So the next question, if you may take, please, is from Bharvi-ben. Bharvi-ben, may I please ask you to unmute and ask your question?
Well, it is only a carry-on from the previous question. Is it always in sets of 24s, or have we had like 25 before, 25 Tirthankars and then 27 and different numbers?
Okay, so on our Bharat Kshetra and Airavat Kshetra has always been 24, whereas in Mahavidya Kshetra, the Tirthankars are always there.
Thank you.
So may I ask all the audience who are watching this presentation, please use this opportunity to ask as many questions as you possibly can to Hina-ben, and use the chat facility to type in your questions. And we will take, at the end of this presentation, more questions, Hina-ben, if that's okay with you.
That's fine. So should I go ahead?
Yes, please do continue. Thank you.
Okay, Varsha-ben, thank you. Okay, so my next slide is, as you can see, probably you will see just the numbers. So now I will just tell you a little bit about yantra. In Jain tradition, from most of the stotra or sutra, some acharyas also have created yantra. These are very powerful. This is a special way the numbers have been arranged to make them powerful. One can meditate or pray upon them. Just like Bhaktamar Stotras, each stanza has its own yantra to meditate on and do puja upon. Similarly, from Logassa Sutra, this is called Pesatya Yantra that has been created by some Acharya. Unfortunately, I do not have his name. This is, and I call this like it is Ananupurvi of Logassa Sutra. And as you can see, the numbers here, when you write it, I will show you my next slide first. So Logas is the root of Pesatya Yantra, which is very powerful. Each number has to be written in sequential order of Tirthankar in the appropriate square, not simply from left to right or top to bottom. I hope you all got this, yeah? And then horizontally, vertically, and diagonally, the total sum of the squares equals to 65. Maybe that is why it is called Pesatya. So that's in Gujarati, Pesatya means 65. So that is why, but again, it is not for sure. And then, although there are 24 Tirthankars, there are 25 names, and the name of Puspadanta and Suvidhinath, although it is just one Tirthankar, but two names have been used. And sometimes I wonder, so many other Tirthankars have more than one or two names, but not all of them have been mentioned in Logassa Sutra. So it is still unknown as to why 24 names are used in the Logassa Sutra. Perhaps they needed 25 to make this yantra. However, this is not proven. Similar to Naukar mantra, this yantra can be written continuously to take the form of chanting. And I have seen people doing this, especially during the Diwali period. They keep the silence on the Diwali day and they keep on writing this yantra as many times as, you know, sometimes you buy the book and you write thousands times of Naukar mantra and all that. So people do keep writing this yantra as many times as they want, and they believe in this meditation. Okay, so this is about the yantra, and then from this yantra there is also a chant has been composed from it, which is called Pesatya Chanda. So Chan means, again, the alphabets are arranged in such a special way to make them very powerful syllable, and it is very, very auspicious as well. So this is, I would say, another way of singing Nokar mantra. Logassa Sutra. It's exactly the same, but just done in a different way. And as you can see, all the wordings, the name of the Tirthankars start as per the number. But when we write, we have to write number 1 where it is. So when you are chanting on it, then this has to be written where the number 1 is first, and then you have to write number 2 where it goes to, and like that you have to keep on doing it that way to chant. And this is the chant. If you all allow me, I would like to sing it. Varshaben, is that okay? Varshaben.
Do continue.
Yeah.
Please continue. It'll be lovely to hear that. Thank you.
Okay. Shrineshwar Sambhav Swam Subhiti Dharma Shanti Apiram Ananta Suvrata Naminath Suchan Shri Jinvara Muj Karo Kalyan Achit Nath Chanda Prabhuti Adishwar Supashwar Gambhir Vimal Nath Vimal Jagpan Shri Jinvara Muj Karo Kalyan Mallinath Chinmangalaru Panchabisadanu Sundar Swarup Shri Aranath Namo Vardhaman Shri Jinvara Muj Karo Kalyan Sumati Padma Prabhu Avatans Vasu Puja Shitala Shreyans Kuntu Pashwa Pinandanavan Shri Jinvara Muj Karo Kalyan In Pare Shri Chinvar Sambhariye Dukhdari Dravigna Nivariye Pache Se Pesat Paraman Shri Jinvar Muj Karo Kalyan In Bhananta Dukha Nave Kada Jo Nij Pase Rakhe Sada Dariye Panchatanu Man Dhyan Shri Jinvar Muj Karo Kalyan Shri Jinvar Name Vanchit Mile Man Vanchit Sahu Asa Phale Dharma Singha Muni Nam Nidhan Shri Jinvar Muj Karo Kalyan Shri Jinvara Muj Karo Kalyan. Lastly, while discussing Logassa Sutra, if I have said anything wrong or against the religion, I say Chami Bukram to all of you. Thank you. Varshaben.
Thank you so much, Hina Ben. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you, Varshaban.
Lovely presentation. So there was one important point that Bakul Bhai made. He said that the prayer asks for good health before meditation. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Bakul Bhai?
Sorry, it was from me. So Hinaben, thank you so much.
And
What a beautiful voice you have. I loved it, every bit of it. Thank you.
Ritaben.
So just wanted to sort of comment that in Logos, the prayer asks for good health,
Yes,
both mental health, physical health,
yes.
before asking for meditation. So how important health is for us to move forward in spiritually.
It is very, very important, Rita Ben. It's a very good question, because until we do not have the good health, we cannot go any further. So health is very important. And at the stage we are, I would say even the physical health, if we have good health, then only we can proceed on religious path. So before, I would say mental health, our physical health is very important before we go into samadhi. Does that answer your question, Rita Ben?
Yeah. It was more of a comment that how important it is.
Yeah. Thank you, Rita Ben.
So Hina Ben, we have another question by Bhanu Bhai Ramesh. Can I ask the Bhanu Bhai to please unmute and ask the question to Hina Ben?
It's Bhanu Ben.
Sorry.
No problem. It's all right. You see, in this yantra, how does the sequence follow, or how does it work? You know, when it says 22, you start with Naminath.
Yes, that is why, that is how the chant is. Like you say, look, Nemishwar Bhagwan is our 22nd Tirthankar, isn't it? So
Yeah.
chant is based on the yantra. So Nemishwar Bhagwan is our 22nd, and then Sambhavnath Swami is our 3rd Tirthankar. So that goes in a line as per yantra.
I see.
Is that clear to you? But when you are chanting on the yantra, say you want to keep on writing, how when we write, sometimes, you know, we write Naukar mantra so many times in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we write Naukar mantra as it is. But here, if you are chanting, if you want to make lot of these squares, lot of this yantra, full yantra, then you must write number 1, which is where it is. You should not write number 22 first, 3, 9, like that. You must write 1 and then wherever 2 goes, and that is how you can chant on it. Is that clear?
No.
Okay.
I am sorry, but you know, let's say 14 is what not Vimalnath.
Yes.
And then you go to 20 is Munisurat Sami. And then you go to 21, which is Nemnath. And then you come back to number 2, which is Ajitnath.
Yes.
And then you go to Chandra Prabhu.
Are you talking about the yantra, or are you talking about the chant? Look, there are 2 different things.
I've got Paisitya Chand in front of me.
Okay. So the chant goes by how the numbers are. As I, number 22, who is number 22, Shankar?
Neminath.
So that is why in chant, the first name is Neminath Bhagwan, is it not?
Yes, Nemishwar.
So then number 3, who is number 3?
Ajitnath, Sambhavnath, yes.
Yeah, so then as you can see in chant is Sambhavnath Swami.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So the chant goes like that. Is that clear to you?
Yeah, so then how is this yantra separate then?
See, when they create this yantra, the numbers have to be in a certain position to make it very effective.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and the same thing goes for the chant. The way they arrange the words, they also have to be very effective. So the yantra is created in such a way that if the numbers are in this sequence, then only it becomes very effective.
Okay, okay. Got it now. Yes, thank you, Hinaben.
No
Thanks a
problem.
lot.
You're welcome.
We have one more question from Dikshaliben Shah. Dikshaliben?
It's Sandeep, actually. I used my wife's name.
Sandeep.
Jai Jinendra.
Sandeep.
Jai Jinendra. Hinaben, that was a lovely presentation, and truly your voice is really good. You should sing more.
Thank you.
I've got two questions, actually. I only put in one, but I've got two. So the Pesatya Chand and the Yantra, right? Now, I'm fascinated. Do we recite the Pesatya Chand instead of Logos, or is this just to supplement?
What I do is I say one Logos and one Chanda. So it gives me, I don't know, maybe I'm a fond of variety, I suppose, but I like the wording of this Chanda, and it is so dear to my heart. So sometimes I just sing a chant, but basically, as Sandeepai, we can see that we are taking all 24 Tirthankars anyway. Yeah, so it really doesn't matter how you do it, but this is how I do it. I always say Logos first, and then I say chant.
Okay, and as far as the yantra is concerned, obviously when you are writing the yantra, you start off with number 1 first. And you write the correct box. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And then you follow number 2 and number 3. And then when you are writing, so do you recite the chand while you are writing? I mean, do you recite the chand when you are doing the yantra? Or you just write the yantra and then you recite the chand?
Yes, you first write the yantra and then recite the chand.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, the third question I had was that, Logos can also be used for chakra meditation.
Yes.
So, and also there's a breathing, there are a certain number of breaths that you take in when you're reciting Logos. So for example, Logasa Ujhoya Gare, then you take in a deep breath and you say Dhammati Thayare Jine.
Yeah.
And I think there are a certain number of breaths. I'm not so sure how many, but would you know a bit more about that, if you can explain?
Yes, they normally say, it has got 7 stanzas. So if you can do it to begin with in 7 breaths.
Yeah, okay.
But then as you can progress, if you go less, because there are some acharyas who are so much further, and they sometimes do just in 1 breath. And that is how the practice goes.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd read about it, and yes. I think even Sadhviji had mentioned this.
Yes.
And I just wanted to know. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
We have also a very important or a very interesting comment made here by Chandani. Chandani, do you want to just put that comment to Hinaben for me? Chandani, are you still there? Okay, no problem. I can make the comment that she's written. She says that the Pesatya Yantra is based on the Yantra and all the numbers add to 65 in all directions.
Yes, I said that in my presentation. It was there.
Okay.
As I said, you go from up and down or vertically, diagonally, whichever way you go, it makes the total sum of 65, and that is why it's called Pesatya, which is Gujarati. Actually, this is in Gujarati.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those who understand Gujarati, it will make a lot of sense, because 65 is Pesat in Gujarati.
Okay. So I think somebody has put their hand up, if I'm correct. There's one more question. Is it from Bhavesh Bhai, or somebody who wants to ask the next question? Do we know who it is? No?
It's Bharat Bhavishi.
Oh, hi. Kemcho, can you put the question to Hina Ben, please?
Yes, it's actually not a question, but I just wanted to comment on the gentleman who asked the question as to how many chovices we've had. My understanding is that આપણો જૈન ધર્મ છે એ પ્રાચીન ધર્મ છે. આપણી ચોવીસી અનંતો ચોવીસી થઈ ગઈ છે અને અનંતો ચોવીસી થશે, કારણ કે આપણે જ્યારે આપણે સાધુ વંદનામાં જ્યારે આપણે શરૂ કરીએ ત્યારે આપણે કહીએ નમો અનંત ચોવીસી ઋષભાદેક મહાવીર. એટલે મહાવીર ઋષભદેવથી માંડીને મહાવીર સુધીની એક ચોવીસી એવી અનંતો ચોવીસી થઈ ગઈ છે.
Okay.
So my answer would, my understanding, my answer to that question would be, infinite choices.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, why don't we make a note of that and ask Vinod Bhai? Hina Ben?
Yes, I think I would say that because Varsha Ben, I did try to explain to him that this is what our agams and everywhere, that Ananta Chovisi, he is right, this gentleman, that is what the mention is, that there is Ananta Chovisi, but his question was something different to that, isn't it?
His question was,
about
according to science, human beings have been in this current world where we are for the last 200,000 years. But I think what we forget is that the world, things move on, don't we? The world and civilizations will get destroyed and there will be new civilizations that will come. So it is very difficult to say whether on this earth, how many different civilizations we've had. We don't know. So I think it's a bit confusing to try to relate our choices to the current status of how we perceive and how science perceive human life.
Yes.
And sorry, can I just add one more thing? That there is a big theory on the fact that the Arctic and the Antarctic ice shelves, if they were to melt completely, there are remnants of other civilizations. And also there is this whole theory that the earth itself renews itself. So, they talk about the Big Bang theory. Even that has not completely been proven, that, it came out from this big explosion which took place in the universe. So, this is an area which science itself has not completely answered its own questions. And I think to some extent we have to accept and not go into a huge discussion about what happened. I think at this moment we have to worry about the fact that where we are in our spiritual progress.
The present time and the future time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandeep. That was good.
So Hina Ben, one more last question we're taking for this evening.
Sure.
Is from Jasmine Ben Udani. Jasmine, would you like to put forward your question, please, to Hina Ben?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, in Pratikaman we say ke Logos bolvanu છે ચંદે સુનિમલર્યા સુધી. So why don't we say the whole Logos and just up to there?
That's because I think we are saying it for the difference between Siddha Bhagwan and Arhant Bhagwan. Arhant Bhagwan body is still around, whereas Siddha, they have liberated already, they are bodiless. So that is my understanding, but of course there could be another reason, which I'm not sure of.
So that means we don't say the whole Logos?
No, just up to Chandesu Nimlera, as I understand. All the Deravasi, Murti Puja, they all only say it up to Chandesu Nimlera. Yes.
Okay. So it's nothing to do. It's nothing to do with the breath or anything like that.
No. When Sandipa, that is different. See, whenever you are doing Kausal, the less breath you take, the better it is. Yeah, because even by taking breath, we are killing some insects, isn't it? So that is why the breathing is that, you know, as you go a bit higher, if you can make do with less breath, then of course you are doing less harming to the insects or however way. So that is different, and that has nothing to do if you. That is not why that you only do it up to Chandesu Ningara. That is a different reason for it. As I explain, I think as I understand is because Siddhas are up, like they have already become Siddha, whereas Arhantas still have the body, and that's the reason we say only up to Chandesu Ningara.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So just as we were taking the last question, Chandni Ben has just made a really quick comment. Chandni, we've just got a few minutes left now. Do you want to make that quick comment? Chandni, is your audio on now? Okay. She's just mentioning, Chandni is mentioning that this yantra is based on this chand, but when we do the yantra, you just start with the name of the first Tirthankar and you write 1 and then you carry on in the appropriate place.
Yes, we already discussed that, Varsha. Yes.
Just, I think she couldn't get the audio earlier on, so she just wanted to make that comment. Yeah. Okay. So Hina Ben, thank you very much. I'm going to, could you stop sharing your slides for the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. And can I ask everybody who's participating to unmute? And once you've unmuted, can I please ask everybody to give a big round of applause to Hina Ben?
Thank you, Hina Ben.
That was fantastic.
Thank you, Hina Ben.
Thank you so much.
Modna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hina Ben.
Thank you.
All welcome. I thank you all for listening.
It was brilliant, and I khub anumodna.
Khub anumodna, Hina Ben.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Hina Ben. A lovely presentation.
You're welcome.
And best wishes, and have a lovely weekend from us, Hina Ben.
Thank you, and same to you all.
I would like to now ask Dikshaliben, who is one of our youngest teachers at SCVP Jain School, to recite the final prayer with the Mangalik, please. Dikshaliben, and everybody else can join their hands together and keep themselves back on mute, please.
Chattari Mangalam Arihanta Mangalam Siddha Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Kevali Panakto Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Loguttama Arihanta Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevali Panakto Dhammo Loguttamo Chattari Shanaram Pavachami Arihante Shanaram Pavachami Siddhe Shanaram Pavachami Sahu Shanaram Pavachami Kevali Panatam Dhammam Shanaram Pavachami.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Dikshaliben.
No problem.
Beautiful. We like to end this evening's presentation with just a few little comments. One, to say that every Friday we are having at 7 o'clock mindfulness class, also virtually, and then the 8 o'clock class continues. Next week we have Sandip Bhai carrying on with Walk With Me, the chapter 3 of Walk With Me, the book. And we look forward to that very much. Also to say, there'll be a survey coming up on your screen in the next few seconds. If you'd be kind enough to fill out the survey, we can find out what you thought about today's presentation and also how we can improve in the future. So please fill the survey out towards the end. And of course, a big thank you to Hina Ben for a wonderful presentation this evening, and everyone behind the scenes, Nilesh Bhai and Ketan Bhai and Pramit Bhai, everybody, thank you so much. And if any mistakes have been done this evening, Michami Dukram from all of us. I wish you all a wonderful evening. I think later on we're going to also put up 2 slides to mention the URL available for all the next presentations and the YouTube places you can see the past presentations. So have a lovely weekend, enjoy the sunshine, and thank you so much. Jai Jinendra, everyone.